Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Team Fly. Welcome back to the Always Bluer podcast. I'm your host, Ariadna, and I'm super happy to be back on 101 Go Do Fly Time with me, myself, and all of you, basically, and the Binks, and a sleepy Binks right behind me. So, how are y'all doing? First of all, I want to say thank you so much for all the love and support through every single message that I receive on Instagram, all the comments and the DMs. Thank you so much for also all the love on TikTok. It is absolutely gorgeous to hear your stories and hear your truth and for you to share with me. And not only share with me, but support and coming out and seeing everything that I stand up for and seeing my truth and just be with the same vibe and the tribe and all the great vibes, even though I said vibe twice. But thank you so much for asking and how I am and how's my healing process. Thank you so much for just being there and showing up. I'm definitely going to talk a little bit about that later on in the episode and a bunch of things more, of course. So today's episode, it's called Keep Healing Your Heart Because Your Happiness is More Important. Lately, not only because we're in between eclipse seasons and Scorpio this and Gemini that, all the things, I do talk a little bit about the astrological stuff from time to time, but I don't deep dive into it. I always recommend fellow astrologers who know a lot more and who can guide you a lot more, and I usually tag them down below, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. That being said, all that astrology aside, whatever we're going through right now, it is something that is very needed. I feel like everyone that I'm surrounded by, not only like in a friendship kind of way, but also clients and also followers and also friends of friends or a family member's friend or friend. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. So a friend of a family member, probably both, to be honest. Me, obviously, because I'm still healing some deep inner wounds as well. We're all going through a lot. It feels like we're all really breaking stigmas time and time again, and not only as individuals, but also as a community. So I definitely wanted to stop a little bit and talk about that and talk about what healing looks like and keeps looking like. As of right now, this is the episode right after Shayla's, where we really did talk about that. We really talked about that deep truth and that nitty gritty hard work behind the scenes. So if you haven't checked it out, please check it out. It is definitely the last episode 130, and it's called What Is Your Body Telling You? And it's with Shayla. And yeah, it is just insane that we're just going through a huge shift. And as the new earth changes as a collective, we're dealing with our darker sides as well as going through massive hills to climb, like literally all together at the same time. And that episode obviously also talks a little bit how we're taking that quantum leaping cosmos shift in a different kind of way. So please go check that out because you'll definitely appreciate it, because I know you, Team Flyer. And if you did check it out, thank you so much for all the love. So talking about, of course, Shayla, and talking about a few other people that I know that I've had on my podcast and a few other close personal friends, they're going through their own, like I said, like breaking generational trauma, and they're going through really tough times, and it's a tough awakening. But what I know from this is that this is needed in order to clear your path and clear your energy and really make it to the other side. When you ask me, like, how's your healing going? I'm like, healing can look in many different ways and shapes and forms, and it's super different for all of us. There's days that I'm just like super exhausted, like today, and I'll explain to you why I'm recording a little bit later. But before I get to there, because I'm always running ahead of the game, because it's still me, I'm still in areas, I'm like, oh my god, I want to tell you all the things. One of the things that was mentioned a little bit, and I wanted to touch up on, because I did read a few comments and questions, and it was, how do you feel, not only about swearing, but also about like, how do you release things, And obviously, through my comments and whatnot, I'm not a big person that swears a lot. I have sworn, you probably heard me in a few episodes here and there, even as a, one-on-one person, through because you're a client, friend, or because you know me or whatever. And it's absolutely okay. You have to release the way that you feel that's right for you. I had a good friend of mine saying, "Oh my God, I never swear." And I just had to the other day because this person started me so crazy. And I'm just, I'm setting my boundaries and, F this and F that. And I'm like, and then she apologized right away, which I'll get to immediately. And I'm like, girl, hun, babe, sweetheart, flyer, dear soul of mine, it's absolutely okay. It is okay for you to vent the way that you need to vent, as long as you don't hurt anybody, of course, or hurt yourself. That's the first and main thing. And I find that interesting because I also, like I said, I got in a few comments and I was like, all right, let's talk about this. I actually did one a month ago, right after my birthday was a full moon, and I did an F you kind of thing, because that's how it feels like sometimes, and that's what you need to release in that moment. And I'm like, that's why I upload what I upload, and that's why I show you the darker side of things, because that's exactly what it looks like. That's exactly how it feels. It's not all butterflies and rainbows, and I cannot stress this enough. You might be hearing all the episodes like, Ariadna, you keep saying the same thing. I'm like, yeah, I keep have to repeat myself because I keep getting comments, which is absolutely fine, of saying, no, I should be doing yoga and meditation. I'm like, yeah, of course, if that's what you want to do, but there's, also swearing involved, or wanting to break stuff, once again, as long as you don't hurt yourself or others, it's absolutely fine. Go punch a pillow. There's also, it depends on what country you're listening to me from. There was my English. There's also these places that you can go break stuff, like this actual recreational place where you can just, like, you go inside for an hour and you pay X amount of cash and then you go break stuff, basically. I think that's pretty cool. Go for a run, go dance, go sing. Just make sure you release. I'm not even talking about full moon release that just happened, just in general. Like, even if it's on a random Tuesday, feel your feelings. This goes back to, I don't know if I ever said this in any of the episodes, probably just talking to a friend or a client, but one of my biggest examples is kids. Kids throw tantrums, not because, they're spoiled or because they don't know how to behave, quote unquote, correctly, Usually they throw tantrums, especially when they're littlers, because they don't know how to control their emotions and how to express themselves because they're too little. So what do? They throw a tantrum, they scream or they cry, and that's releasing that anger or that thing. It's like, of course, as adults, we can't, be yelling in the middle of a supermarket by any means. Could we cry in the middle of a supermarket? I mean, I have, if that's what you feel. And you're definitely not hurting anyone when you cry in the street, you know what I mean? But going back to the screaming, yelling, releasing that part of anger out, find a healthy way to do it. And once again, swearing is fine and punching a pillow is fine. Just remember that's all part of the process. And it's okay if you're like the most PG person out there who never sees an R-rated movie, or you know what I mean, or etc., etc., etc. It's like, it's fine. It is absolutely fine, because it's what your body and your mind needs. And that's going to help you feel better, because once again, keep healing your heart, because your happiness is more important. And then shortly after this, what I was saying before is that my friend immediately apologized for absolutely everything, of like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I swore, like, I never do this. And I'm like, what are you doing, babes? It's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. So that's what happens when it's a trauma response, when you apologize for everything. People pleasing, that's also a trauma response, because she wanted to be like, not picture perfect in my eyes by any means, but it's one of those trauma responses that you're like, oh my God, it's so out of character for me. I mean, it would be out of character if you did something completely different and a little bit, more crazy, chaotic, like hurt someone. Yes, but swearing... point being, I was telling her, I was like, we apologize way too much. Society has told us to apologize for a little everything, especially as women, but that's a whole, side conversation to have. And it's something super important to keep in mind, because those are for the people pleasers. I've been one. I I'm currently healing on that. I'm setting a lot more boundaries lately, and it definitely shows in every way, shape, and form, as I always say, in every area of my life. And it definitely feels good. I definitely feel more confident. I definitely am more aware of my feelings and how I respect myself and how I love myself more. And once again, for all those people pleasing people out there, you also come and talk to me. I have many clients who are also like that, and it is very interesting for me to see the change. I love seeing the change when I start to understand that my time and my essence and my energy is also important. And I can say no. And it's good to say no and set those boundaries. So if that's what you're experimenting, once again, don't fret, my dear flyer. Don't worry about it. Please, seek help. Go to therapy. Talk to a friend about it. Listen to more podcasts like this one, read really good books, put your mind at ease and find ways for you to see and know your self-worth, right? Because that's the point of the story at the end of the day, right? Because once again, keep healing your heart. Why? Because your happiness is more important. Now, another quick example that I've had recently that I've put in my notes for this episode, talking about trauma response, and I feel like this is something that a lot of people would understand as well from what I read in the comments and clients and what we're all going through as a collective. Because the fact that you're sitting here or you're driving or you're walking or jogging or you're walking your dog listening to this podcast means that you definitely want to have a better lifestyle. You definitely want to be a better version of yourself. You're putting time, effort, and energy to listen to something really good for your soul. I know it's not Ariadna giving props to herself. It's just because you're here, because this is a wellness podcast, because it is a podcast where, I, the host, obviously have guest on guest on guest on guests every single season to talk about these matters and these issues and understand that, health is mind, body, and soul. So good for you, because that's a humongous step. So one of the things that a lot of people pointed out and is about past relationships, and this could be any relationships. And one of the little tidbits that I told one of my clients as well, so she can relate to me a little bit more, we get through that initial trauma into something better. I told her, I also get overwhelmed with my husband, who treats me like a queen, has low energy from being tired, right? And why, you may ask? Simply because, and when I say simply, I should put this in under quotes because it's not something as simple as that. Because I've had to walk on eggshells in past relationships. And this could mean, like I told her, this could be towards your parents, towards your sibling, towards your ex, towards your teacher, towards your coworker, towards your coach, towards your boss. Any relationship that you can think of that has treated you this way, it's that one. We're so quick to jump it's an ex, as in like an ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, ex-partner. It's like, no, those hurt a lot deeper, usually, because there's romance there and your heart is definitely much more involved, and probably advanced as well. But this could be literally anything. This could be friendship, you know what I mean? So, because for me, in past relationships, when that person had low energy, that would mean that I supposedly did something wrong and I was about to be emotionally abused because they took it out on me, basically. Like, every little thing that I did, just because they were having a bad day, or just because they had not even a bad day, they were just tired from work, as we all are, they would immediately just jump on my back and make me feel itty bitty tiny little bitty small. So I've moved on from this long ago, and it is quite a journey, and it's quite a healing journey. And I was telling her, much more like for us to understand each other a lot more, better said, is that right now in my mind, I know I'm safe, but my body's still learning this because it goes into flight or fight mode, obviously, because it automatically understands. It's like, oh my God, this person is acting this way. This must mean X, Y, Z. And you're like, no, honey. Your mind is like, my mind knows that I'm safe, that I'm protected, that there's partnership and love and respect. My body's like, oh my God, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And that can mean that sometimes I get really angry really fast, or I spiral by accident really fast. And that's where I have to bring it all back and be like, no, my love, my darling Ariadna, my soul, it's fine. It's absolutely okay, babes. Because you are in a much better place right now. You have grown. You have conquered. Look at where you are now. So basically, one of the things keep talking about healing, because it's today's episode, healing from trauma, whatever trauma that may have been, is a process and it's a long one. But it's one that I really would love to see you keep doing. And this is what I say again, keep going, keep healing your heart, because your happiness is more important. So for you to, I really want to see you keep going. Like, to all the people who comment, who come, to my conferences, see my shows, hear my podcasts, are my clients, friends in general, like, I'm here believing in you and cheering you on for you to keep going. And if you're really in a tough spot, even if it's mentally, you don't have to be in a physically tough spot. You don't have to be, an emotionally tough spot. Maybe you overcome things. Maybe, no one's physically abusing you, and that's always good. But if you're mentally in a tough spot, that's okay. Seek out for help. Know that we're here sharing these stories, these go-to-fly stories, because we're here coming together as one. That's essentially what it is. So, a little bit more, another subject that came up, and that has to do with, it's funny though, because it's a really recent conversation I had for the millionth time, but with a newer friend, and he also pointed out the same thing, that pre-pandemic and post-pandemic friendships, relationships, once again, this could be your mother, your sibling, your boss, your coworker, your roommate, your friend, your, anything you want to insert here, your neighbor, the bar that you used to go to pre-pandemic and now post-pandemic, you know what I mean? It has been a big shift, but not only that, I feel like with the, the portal coming in this year, head on strong, and the light workers that we're starting to see, and people who are listening to me who know not only that part of me, because you see that's the part that I share as well, following your truth, following your path, speaking your truth, and being in love with yourself and loving yourself and all this self-worth and self-love going on, you see that this portal, this new earth, is definitely coming together. And what does that mean? That all that one-sided relationships have got to go. It doesn't matter who it is. You might be thinking of one person, you might be thinking of 5 people. Believe me, pre-pandemic and post-pandemic can be one thing, but also with a new earth and knowing more what you want and being more secure of what you want and understanding your boundaries and having more respect for yourself, you get to see that who you really want by your side. And that has happened with friendships. There's a lot of friends that I had before that fit that vibe that I had before, and not right now. And that's why I'm making new ones that fit my vibe even more. Because it's not a matter of, throwing them away by any means, but, it has to fit your needs at that moment. The simplest example I give to my client, literally like yesterday, I'm like, it's like clothes. And I'm not even talking about a weight issue or a weight gain. I'm not even talking about your body right now. I'm just like in that kind of sense. No. I'm just talking about, I literally straight up told my client, I was like, do your clothes fit you? When you were, like, right now, if you try on the clothes you had when you were 6 years old, would they fit you? No. Do you still like the same food? Which you could still like the same food as you liked as 6-year-old, believe me. She said no. Do you still, play with the same friends? You can still play with the same friends, but do you play with all the same friends? And she said no. There you go. You outgrew those things because now you fit newer things. You bring in space for newer things that fit your need right now. Parents who are listening to me right now, and I've had a few comments by parents who told me the same thing, confirming every time I upload. I think I uploaded a TikTok or Instagram post about this recently. And they confirmed, and they're like, so parents who are listening to me right now, I can bet you, a full day of full sunshine, especially because it's full sunshine here right now, because it always is. Anyways, I can bet you that if you're a parent right now to a small child or a teenage child, but any child below 18 years, from 0 to 18 years old, the other parents that you hang out with, the other moms, the other dads, the other people that you see on a daily basis because of your child, they're brand new. You know what I'm trying to get at? Your life changes from day to day. I wasn't even from time to time, not even from time to time, from day to day. Your likes are not going to be the same. So going once more to seeing that, like, whenever you're feeling, and if you're feeling this right now, that you're in a one-sided relationship with whoever it may be, let them go. Release that ish. Because you deserve better. You deserve a 50-50 relationship. Let it go. If you truly try your hardest, if you truly tried your best, let it go. We often hang on to things, not only physical things out of quote-unquote sentimental value, but also towards people. And once again, this could be literally anyone. It could be a job even. It could be your favorite bar after, like, they stopped, they changed waiters and waitresses, and you're like, oof, this place. We often hang on to things like that because we're afraid of what's on the other side. We think we're going to end up alone. We think we're not going to find a new favorite bar. We think we're not going to find a new favorite book. We think we're not going to find... And that's nonsense, to be honest, because much like a material thing, the moment you clear up space in your closet and get rid of your old clothes that don't fit you anymore, and maybe they still fit you, but they don't fit your vibe, they're not that you are today. You're not going to be wearing that like what you wore 10 years ago or even 3 months ago. The moment we clear out space, physical space in our closet, not only are we releasing our old past and selves, but we're also, believe me, listen tight, we're also making space for new clothes that actually fit us and fit our vibe. And that is so important. That is so important. I'm going to give a shout out to the home edit. Also, I'm a minimalist, but I do love my organization. I'm kind of like Monica from Friends, not to that extreme, thankfully. I've also gone to therapy for that because I used to be OCD, like, programmed from birth, but not anymore. But point being, home edit. And there's one of the episodes, there was this family who was great and whatnot, but she had things, and she had 2 little babies from 10 years ago. And then one of the hosts, one of the creators was like, hey, like, when was the last time you played tennis? It's like, 10 years ago. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. I'm not pinpointing out like as a bully by any means. Like, I get it. I move a lot. I travel a lot. I move around a lot. So I do often edit everything. But even within that, I still have some really old things. But every single time I look through my stuff, I keep editing because guess what? I then add space for new things. Is it difficult? Yeah, of course it's difficult to edit. It's completely difficult to edit. So if it's difficult to edit, a tennis racket from 10 years ago, imagine how difficult it is to edit people from your life. But keep in mind, you're not the same person you were 5 years ago, even if you've known them for 5 years or 10 years. You are the you that you are today. So the moment you start releasing these people from your life because they're not serving you any purpose that they don't meet that need, that's the moment that once again you keep healing your heart because your happiness is more important. Breaking generational trauma, and this goes with friendships as well, I keep saying, is hardcore stuff. And it feels like you're the only one paddling and you're the only one lost in the middle of the sea. And you're like, oh my God, when am I going to see the island? Or when am I going to see, the land? I'm here to remind you that's literally all of us right now. And it's all the ones I kept saying before that have gone through the portal that understand that kindness and honesty and respect is where it's at. It is the ones that are standing their ground. That's who we are. You know, there's a whole tribe of us that we're all learning right now. We're all finding each other right now through social media, which is actually incredible because I feel like social media for us has like gone to a twist. Like when I went on my social media cleanse, and I still go on a cleanse, like I'm not aligned over the weekends. Like people are like, where'd you go? Like I get DMs on a Monday or a Tuesday whenever I open Instagram again. I was like, what happened to you? Are you okay? And I'm like, of course I'm okay. I'm out here enjoying life, just off social media. You know, I don't share absolutely everything by any means, which is perfectly okay as well because I do have a private life, you know what I mean? But going back to what I was saying is that social media we're using it right now as a tool. That's how Shayla and I met. That's how Sheik and I met. That's how Alona and I met. That's how so many people like us have met and come together and realized that through each other, through the comments, I'm so thankful for the comments, seriously. And it's not like, oh my God, you boost my Instagram. No, it's not even that, you know, or boost my TikTok or a pod. No, babes, it's connecting. It's this community. It's this vibe that we're all going through and that we really just want to make it to the other side. And the bigger we are, the better, you know? So those are the ones that show up on your feed that you can also see that they're putting in the work. And if you're one of them, and if you just upload a TikTok talking about breaking generational trauma, or that friend, or releasing that friend, or literally please donate half of your closet, good for you. Like tell me down below that you're doing that so I can go cheer you on. The more we show up online right now, the more we see each other, because that's the way the world works. So what I was saying earlier in this episode, what putting in the work looks like. Let's put it this way. What I'm definitely going to do is this uploaded through the Always Believer, but you can go on today's post for me for my own personal profile. And what's today? May 18th. So to see all the nitty-gritty parts and all the fun parts. And what I mean about that is that putting in the work looks like this past Saturday, we're hung out with my closest friends and also with new friends not to the beach. Oh, I miss the beach. The sea is calling me. I'm very much Moana. Now we went to the park. We went to the park to have a picnic and it was absolutely gorgeous. It was a beautiful day. Such great vibes and I needed it. After everything that I've been going through, I needed a day like that. My friends took me by car everywhere. And that's a good thing because I am healing my back, of course. I'm healing my leg and et cetera, et cetera. And to see the sights, to see the beautiful sights from the highest mountain in the city and just play cards. We played cards and it was my Schitt's Creek card. And obviously, I don't say obviously, I guess, but none of my friends knew it, old or new. They're like, what is this? I'm like, you guys have to see Schitt's Creek. But to each their own. Same goes for you. If you have seen it, please drop me in the comments down below and let's talk about Schitt's Creek because oh my gosh. And if you haven't, and if you like this podcast, then Schitt's Creek could definitely be for you because that's a heck of a show. Anyways, it was so much fun and joyful and happiness. And we went to museums and I love museums and we saw live music. We learned so much about history in the museum. We saw like carriages. Oh, it was wonderful. Super wonderful. And that's what healing looks like, is making sure that like you also allow yourself to have that fun, to have those experiences, say yes more, to really, really just forget about your worries and your doubts. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. They asked me to sing at this party on Sunday. It was a house party because it was a birthday party. And I'm like, unless you want it to rain. But here I am singing on my podcast. So yeah, sure. Anyways, that's just kooky, crazy, beautiful me. So, yeah, just... when was the last time you did something just for the hell of it, just something fun that really, really fills your life with joy? So that's what healing looks like. That's what putting in the work looks like, because sometimes I know we talked about this with Shayla. I'm pretty sure it's the episode's coming up next week, to be honest. Sometimes we forget to have fun, or sometimes we think putting in the work is only like releasing anger and, rituals and journaling, and I gotta like meditate every day. No, babes, no. Putting in the work is also having fun and being surrounded by people who lift you higher and trying new things and exploring new things. And that's literally what putting in the work looks like. Putting in the work also looks like my day yesterday, which the picture will be uploaded because I got nothing to hide. Completely in pain and crying and being annoyed at life, saying, why is my leg hurting so much? What is this teaching me? Why? And right now I don't know that why in particular. I know some of the why, but I don't know the full why just yet. And I also know this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be in bed after having a beautiful Saturday and a chiller Sunday because it was at home. And to be in bed. Part of it is because I've asked for help. I've never asked for help my whole life. Not in the emotional way, if that makes any sense. I've asked for help for like, hey, I'm moving, help me move. I don't know. Hey, I'm moving to that city. Do you know anything? You know what I mean? But help as in like, I'm physically or emotionally exhausted. Can you please help cook? Can you please help go to the laundry? Go do groceries? Can you please take me by car here? And I'm not only talking about my husband, because my husband, I do ask him for help and vice versa, but friends. And that's probably friends and people who generally care for me as well, to be honest. My bosses, coworkers, fellow podcasters as well, fellow entrepreneurs, fellow women who are walking this path with me. I've asked for help, and that's part of what I'm learning. So putting in the work looks like both. We can pose on an Instagram post how many times you like. That's fine, good for you. I do the same, not for Instagram. I don't really pose for Instagram. I if you've known me, I love pictures. I adore pictures with all my heart for as long as I can remember. And there was a long period of my life where I didn't take pictures of myself, and that's pretty, I guess, kind of sad, I thought, because I don't have pictures of me of that age. So it came to a moment that I'm like, F this, I'm going to take selfies, I'm going to take pictures. And this is before selfies was even a thing. Like, I literally have those because I really want them. And also I take a lot of pictures of my friends, of people who are around me, even if they're people who aren't with me right now anymore, because once again, I've edited. It's still pretty important to me. So I don't really pose for Instagram. But I do, like, if I see a pretty treat, I'm like, tell my husband, like, oh, I want a picture here. You know what I mean? Even if one of my recent posts, the day that I went to the 6 doctors, I got recognized twice. I got freaking recognized twice. What is life? I love you all so much. I freaking love you so much, Team Flyer. I got like stopped twice. Anyways, one of those pictures in my personal profile, I think it was May 6th, maybe. I want to say May 7th, a few days ago. Ponytail up, super tired face, sits everywhere because life, basically. And I got recognized. And she's like, can we take a picture? And I said, yeah. And she looked gorgeous. I looked gorgeous with my hot, sweaty face, jumping from doctor to doctor. And I uploaded that because that's the real me. So that's what putting in the works look like. By the way, I also got asked this by a client because I did upload this, I want to say, with my previous episode with Shayla, I want to say. And then I also did like a TikTok about it. But anyways, about watching, really, I don't know how to say it, like, like a mix between reality TV and like not soap operas, but something like that, and then like rom-coms, like something like that. So watching shows or movies that have no educational value, that do not make you think basically, but that make you have a good time. And one of the comments was, oh my god, you're right, that sometimes you want to see like a quote-unquote bad TV show or something, and that's what you need, that kind of little comfort bug. And I have to like mention The Circle, because there's stuff in the works with The Circle, and I really want to give props, and I want to give thank you. I want to see manifestation works. But there's stuff in the works, so I definitely have to like, I watched The Circle since it started, and I really like it. And that's something else. Oh my god, there's like, I want to tell you so much more in this episode, but I'll be quick enough to wrap it up really soon. So with The Circle, it's one of those things that people are like, oh my god, are you ashamed of saying that you like The Circle, or that you've watched, oh, Love is Blind. I said that in my previous one, that I was going to remind myself, Love is Blind as well. Are you ashamed? I'm like, I like it. I'm not hurting anybody. Why would I be ashamed? You have seen me post and TikToks and Instagrams and whatever the F you want with me hugging Winnie the Pooh and Julia. Well, Julia is a Build-A-Bear, as you saw in my previous videos that we have from New York. So, I named her Julia from Luca from Pixar. So if you have not seen Luca, see Luca. Also Disney, thank you. Thank you, universe. Also something in the works with Disney. So good things are coming. See? It might be painful. Oh my god, Ariadna. It is very painful, whether it's physically, emotionally, or mentally. Dealing and breaking generational trauma and working with yourself and putting in the work. But it's so worth it. It is so incredibly worth it. I'm so thankful for each and every one of you, that every single time I post something that you're there listening. I just thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so as we wrap this up, I want to say two last things. So you understand this vibe. So if I had to choose between being liked or respected, I will choose being respected all day long. This is something I talked about with a good friend of mine, with new friends of mine, and with clients as well. Because what I said, they're like, these could be content creators, they could just be talking about their family members or about coworkers. They were just super afraid to post something, to say something, or to tag something in a way, like they soften their text so they're liked more, or they're soften their video, or they're soften, like in a meeting at work, they soften what they say so they don't make quote unquote too much noise, I'm like, no. Let me repeat myself. If I have to choose between being liked or respected, I will choose being respected all day long. Because the number one person you have to respect is yourself. When you stop acting authentically, it clearly shows. When you hide your parts of yourself, whether it's in real life, online, to the neighbor, to whoever, it clearly shows. And that's not being respectful with who you are. This is why I post my crazy posts. This is why I'm like, dude, this is me in all ways, shapes, and form. Because that's authentically me, because I'm going through the motions. Because I'm a human being and I have a million feelings in one. Especially me, because my goodness, don't I love to talk and have feelings. But, I know it resonates with a lot of you because I read your comments. I was talking to Stephanie Beatrice the other day, and she was literally telling me the same thing, but it was about motherhood, and I'm like, I'll understand you someday soon. But I totally get where you're coming from, sis. I gets it. Same was for Jessica Marie Garcia. Those two people, I swear, they go check their posts, go follow them, because they're keep it real to the T. Real to the T. I don't know where that expression comes from, but I'm just gonna go with it. So basically, you don't manage someone else's reaction. You manage your truth, and that's how you respect yourself, and that's how you set boundaries for yourself. Because your relationship with yourself is the foundation for every relationship you have. Your relationship with yourself is the foundation for a relationship you have. So going back to what I was really telling you all the way at the beginning, keep healing your heart because your happiness is more important. And all that releasing and all your work that you're putting in the work day in, day out, you are doing it because that relationship you have with yourself is the most important. That's the real happiness, where it really lies. And the way that you treat yourself, it's the standard how people treat you. And believe me, as a person who needs more self-love and self-worth every day, and that's also what I'm currently learning, as you've heard in many of my previous episodes and TikToks and Instagrams, because I keep it real as well. Honey, babe, Team Flower, I understand. It's a daily thing. It is a daily thing. Because even if the moment that I'm recording this, I feel with kind of low energy, I know me recording this and putting it out in the universe is going to bring my vibration higher and the universe vibrations even higher because I'm speaking my truth. After this, will I nap? Of course. Or will I just watch The Circle? Of course. Because new episodes came out? Of course. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh, it's giving me all the feels this episode because I love talking to you. I'm so happy that I'm making this episode a little bit longer, and not only because something that makes me happy, but because you've asked for it for so long that I'm actually able to give you that energy and that time. Thank you so much, Team Flower. I'm gonna cry because I'm just so thankful for you. People who've been there since day one or people who've been here since today, thank you for listening and sharing and posting and commenting and just thank you. All right. Okay. All right. Well, definitely going into the last thing because I think it's really important and also because you asked for it. So I'm like, sure, why not, sis? Why not, Team Flower? I got to. All right. So it's the cards of the week. It's for literally this week. But whenever it is that you're listening to this, it doesn't have to be the date that this podcast episode comes out. It could be literally any time. Let this align. For you, I pulled out 3 cards, and the first one is you are already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. Breathe, Team Flower. Let's breathe together because this is a good life reminder for me too. We're already doing it. We're already putting the work. We're already putting the energy. We've manifested this. We got it. It's ours. It's mother effing ours. It's literally ours for the taking. And that is so freaking beautiful to hear. Card number 2 is a tarot card. It's the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords notes that you, my love, are a truth seeker. You're open to hearing the thoughts and opinions of others, but ultimately you filter that information to decipher what is true and what is not. Good for you, Team Fire. Where this may be a push that you needed, a card that you're like, okay, this is my sign that I am doing what I need to be doing and I'm doing it and I am the Queen of Swords. Or maybe because you already feel like you're the Queen of Swords, good for you. And this, you can be a man, you can be a woman, you could be they, them, it doesn't matter. Queen of Swords, it's that kind of vibe and energy that it brings, no matter the gender. Because here, we accept everyone just the way they are. Because gosh knows we need more safe places in this world, and this is definitely one of them. So yeah, when you interact with others, you would not tolerate mistruths or like chit-chat or gossip, because who gives enough about that, really? It also suggests that you have an innate ability to tell it like it is. You're a quick thinker and highly perceptive. Piercing through the noise and confusion to get straight to the point. Good for you. You're upfront and honest and respectful, and you expect the same from others. So for this reason, of course, and many, many others, many people respect your opinion and come to you for advice when they need clarity. So take this message as it is. Go find more definitions online if you feel like, or from other people that you trust. Queens of Swords. And as for the mantra, it is, my day begins and ends with self-love and appreciation. When I got these cards, I swear I cried. You're like, I didn't always cry. I'm like, yeah, that's how I release, babe. That's how I release. A happy cry, sad cry, I release. And water is also really good. What are tears? Water. So yeah, you worked so hard to get to where you are, and you deserve to protect every bit that you created and you earned. a lot of people might still be lingering and wanting to hang out and wanting to like, oh goodness, look at her grow, look at him grow, look at what they're doing. But you know your worth now. You know where you're at right now, and look how far you've come. Take a moment to start praising yourself every single day. That's where self-love and self-appreciation comes, because my day begins with self-love and appreciation, and my day ends with self-love and appreciation. I know you were taken for granted before, but you have changed and turned it around, Team Flyer. You have healed that part of yourself because you did the work. No more if you don't have what you manifested just yet. Do not let those forceful, eager offers think that, oh my God, they're the one because they look like nice and pretty. No. You know when the time is right, it'll come. Be grateful, even more so than you are. Look at your life's blessings and what you're surrounded by. What you're really looking at when you see your life, and let that guide you. Be grateful for all those moments, because those are the one. You have so much to be grateful for because you are surrounded by abundance. Pull that focus in, have fun, let go, release, and just be one with yourself. You can conserve that energy. If you feel like doing nothing with anybody, that's absolutely fine, babes, Team Flyer. That's absolutely fine. You just conserve that energy. Because let the rest come when it'll come, and you will know when you will know. And when your gut says no, listen to that too, please and thank you. Keep setting those boundaries because you need to focus on that self-love and self-worth. You got this in you, Flyer. You really, really, really do, dear Flyer. So, oh, goodness gracious. Let's go one more time to the name of this episode because it's absolutely gorgeous. Keep healing your heart because your happiness is more important. Man, that was a good one, right? So, I'll let you all take that information in. We have Sheila once more next week for us, and next month as well. And I got a few surprises along the way as well. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for commenting. Thank you so much for being there. Thank you so much, universe, for bringing these beautiful souls into my life. This community, this vibe that this tribe, that vibes so hard. There it is. And that just accepts each other just the way they are. Like, literally, you're such a mood. You are such a vibe. Oh, Team Flyer, I freaking adore you. So, you know where to find us by now, and if not, link in bio, of course. But yeah, of course, we're on Spotify and YouTube and iTunes. On Libsyn, there's a website that I also have called thealwaysbeliever.com. I also have a personal Instagram and a personal TikTok that you're very welcome to come follow and see more fun stuff behind the scenes. And yeah, I hope that my behind the scenes and the way that I tell you the struggles helps you in every way, shape, and form, because that's what I'm here for. I'm helping you guide. I'm helping you be the way, because we're all here for each other and we're all one. All right. Oh, the question. What question can we ask you for this episode? You can comment down below. What makes you happy? Tell me one thing. From, hey, hugging my favorite stuffed animal, watching my favorite Disney movie, watching Encanto or Luca or Moana for me, or Toy Story, for example, watching The Circle, hanging out with friends, reading a really good book, reading at the beach, swimming, reading my cards, journaling. What makes you happy? Name us one thing that makes you happy. Because you never know. Maybe you're going to help somebody else. Like, oh my God, I didn't think about painting. Let me try painting. Or playing the cello. The other day, one of my clients said that she played the cello. I'm like, that's so cool. Oh, and then I also had an opera singer as a client. And oh my God. So both these people were like, at the end of the call, one played cello for me and one sang opera. And I'm like, life is so freaking cool. You just got like a little mini private, really cool concert. So anyways, what makes you happy? Tell me one thing that makes you happy. All right, Team Flyer. Thank you very much. Hug tighter, love stronger. Thank you very much for absolutely everything that you do. Keep walking, keep working yourself, keep healing your heart, because your happiness is more important. Till next week. Bye. Love you all.